Hello, ladies at Covenant Fellowship. Well, I have to be completely honest with you. This is my third try for this video. It is really disturbing to videotape yourself, and that's all I'm going to say about that. I hear that you are getting together to study my book, Graceful. I'm so excited to hear that. I hope that you enjoy every word. I hope that some of the words maybe you don't enjoy in a way that that challenges you, and that's all I mean by that. I hope that you're challenged. I hope that you maybe have some questions, and if you do, I'm so thrilled to know that you have one another to ask those questions to. When I was in the ninth grade, I made the B team cheerleading squad, and that actually was really awesome because what that meant was we got to decorate the football players' lockers, and we got to wear uniforms to school on game days, and that was really awesome. But another thing that was awesome about being on the cheerleading squad for me was that I was voted captain. And I loved the fact that I was voted captain for about 7.5 seconds because that's about how long it took me to realize that being captain of squad was a big responsibility. Now, I was a believer, and I was also a good girl. And after you read this book, you'll know a lot more about what I mean by that. But basically, I was a good girl, and I mean probably what you're thinking. I tended to make smart choices. I tended to not go crazy on the weekends. I was the kind of girl that my friends' moms wanted them to hang out with because I was pretty good influence. I did pretty good in school. I didn't really rock the boat. I was just kind of somewhat easygoing. But I also had a deep-seated feeling as though life was up to me, and it was really important that I get it right. And a lot of times, I was a believer, but I knew that I was saved by faith through grace, or by grace through faith, and I knew that was of God, and I knew that that was true, and that was the gospel. But there was a little part of me that thought that maybe I had to keep on working hard in order to keep it, in order to keep God's favor of me, that I didn't really fully accept His full and complete love for me. So that's my little background. Well, when I was voted captain of the cheerleading squad, a fact, as I said, that I loved for about 7.5 seconds, that feeling of responsibility, of doing life right, of doing everything well, really kicked in. And so when I learned that as a squad we had to come up with a dance to perform at summer camp, I felt that it was my unique responsibility to choreograph this dance. Now let me just tell you that choreographing a dance, being able to choreograph a dance, and actually dancing are two very different things. That I could dance, I could do that all right. But making up the moves, kind of a different story. But I was captain, and I thought for sure that this is my responsibility. I could ask for help, but if I ask for help, then maybe they will think I'm not a very good captain. So I proceeded to get my red boombox, jambox radio thing, back in the day before we had cool things like little tiny MP3 players. It was like this big radio, and I put in my favorite dance remix version of Everybody Dance Now, which was awesome, by the way. And I made up a dance, and I thought it was okay, but then I showed my squad, and bless their spunky little cheerleading finger spirited hands, they really they accepted it, and they learned it, and they didn't say anything. And I thought, maybe I'm awesome at this. Maybe I'm a lot better at this whole making up a cheerleading dance than I thought. So they learned it, and then we had to show it to the varsity squad. And the varsity squad watched us perform this dance. And after we were done, they did the thing that I still can't get out of my mind, that still haunts me sometimes when I think about it. The worst thing they could have done. They laughed. And it wasn't like the, oh, let us help you. Oh, that was pitiful. No, it was like the looking around, trying to pretend like they were coughing laugh. It was like the, you're an idiot, and I cannot believe that we're standing here in front of you, that y'all actually just performed that terrible dance. After telling me that my coolest moves were illegal in cheerleading, they then proceeded to, gather together and just sort of clump together and didn't offer to help, and they just sort of wandered off. And I remember thinking, I'm going to die. I'm going to die, and the worst thing that could possibly happen happened, and that was that it was shown up in front of everybody that there was something I wasn't good at. And so I learned after that, for better or worse, that it's sometimes better to ask for help, and that weakness can sometimes propel us into being in community with people. I learned that lesson in ninth grade, and it's taken me a lifetime to continue to learn it. To learn that it's not bad to have people who you need to depend on. But as a good girl, that's been hard for me to accept. I heard this voice of the hero in my mind, and she said to me, the heroine, and she said, you need to be strong and responsible, and you need to get this thing together, and you need to do it all by yourself. And if you don't, then you're not okay, and there's something wrong with you. And so that's one voice that I've listened to as a good girl. In this book, I outline 8 of those voices that, as a good girl, that I tended to listen to, and some of the ways that listening to those voices, rather than listening to the voice of God, listening to those good girl voices, pushed me into hiding behind things and places where God really never meant for me to hide. And maybe you'll be able to identify with all 8 of these. I know I can, clearly. But maybe you'll only identify with 1 or 2, and that's okay. Don't pick up an issue that isn't yours. Trust me, you don't want to do that. But as you read and as you discuss with one another and your friends and your sisters and your moms and each other in that room, I just truly hope that you will recognize that this word graceful, the title of the book, Graceful, doesn't have anything to do with perfection or with being a graceful dancer like the dancer I so desperately, choreographer that I desperately wanted to be. No, graceful really is all about what it means to be free. And that maybe as you read and as you discuss and as you begin to dig into the words in these pages, I truly hope that you will begin to understand a little bit more of what it might mean to let go of that try-hard life, and instead of hiding behind all of your girl-made identities and listening to this good girl voice, that maybe you'll truly begin to discover what it means to listen to the voice of God and how He invites us to hide in Him rather than in all of our girl-made hiding places. I hope you guys have a great time. I'm thrilled to be able to join you through video just in this little chat. I wish I was going to wait till I had a better hair day to do this video for you, but I realized that wasn't going to happen. So if I had waited, I might not have sent the video. So I hope that you have a great time. Thank you so much for choosing Graceful, and I will pray for your time together.